The Houston Texans are sitting on top of a ticking clock, and most people have no idea how loud it is about to get. This is a franchise that went from rebuilding to playoff contender in one offseason, won back-to-back division titles, made the postseason 3 straight years under DeMeco Ryans, and still has not made it past the second round. C.J. Stroud lit the league on fire as a rookie with 4,108 passing yards, 23 touchdowns, and only 5 interceptions. That version of Stroud had people calling him the next great quarterback. But that was 2 seasons ago. His numbers have dropped every single year since, and his last playoff game ended with 4 interceptions against the New England Patriots. So the question nobody in Houston wants to say out loud is simple. Is this team getting closer to a Super Bowl, or is the window already starting to close? Here's what makes 2026 so different from any other year. The Texans completely rebuilt their offensive line this offseason. They brought in a new starting running back. They added the final missing piece to an already dominant secondary. And they still have the number 1 defense in football, led by Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter, 2 edge rushers who combined for 153 quarterback pressures last season. On paper, this roster looks like a legitimate Super Bowl contender, but paper does not win championships, and the pressure on C.J. Stroud to prove he is still that franchise quarterback has never been higher. What makes all of this even more intense is what is happening behind the scenes. Will Anderson Jr. needs a new contract. Stroud is approaching a massive extension. Azeez Al-Shaair is on the last year of his deal. The Texans cannot keep all of them forever, which means this season is not just about winning games. It is about proving who deserves to be part of the future. And the first thing Houston had to fix before anything else was the one unit that has been failing C.J. Stroud since the day he was drafted. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Texans and all the NFL content. Let's aim for 500 likes on this video. Since the day C.J. Stroud was drafted, this offensive line has been failing him. His pressure rate went up every single season, jumping from 35.5% in year 1 all the way to 41.2% in 2025. He has been one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league over that stretch, with 113 sacks across 3 years. He suffered concussions inside the pocket against the Jets and the Broncos. That is not a quarterback problem. That is a protection problem. And the Texans finally decided to do something about it. They signed Braden Smith from the Indianapolis Colts to play right tackle. They brought in Wyatt Teller from the Cleveland Browns on a 2-year, $16 million deal to lock down the guard spot. They re-signed Ed Ingram at right guard, and Evan Brown adds interior depth. The biggest remaining question is center, where Jake Andrews held it down last season, but the Texans met with multiple center prospects at the Combine. That draft strategy ties directly into something even bigger this franchise has to figure out before the season starts. Will Anderson Jr. finished 2025 with 12 sacks, 20 tackles for loss, 3 forced fumbles, and a 92.3 PFF grade. Ranking second among all edge defenders in football, he showed up even bigger in the playoffs with 8 career postseason sacks. Now Micah Parsons reset the edge rusher market at $46.5 million per year. And Aiden Hutchinson signed for $45 million. Anderson is younger, healthier, and improving every season. Expect something around $47 million annually, and he deserves every dollar. Then there is the Stroud situation. ESPN projected his extension at 4 years, $224 million, roughly $56 million per year. But here's where it gets tricky. If the Texans lock him in now, and he plays like his 2025 self, they overpay. If they wait and he returns to rookie form, the price jumps past $60 million. Both sides are gambling. Azeez Al-Shaair posted 103 tackles, 9 pass breakups, and 2 interceptions last season. A deal around $13 to $14 million per year keeps him in Houston. But paying all 3 stars means something else has to change about how this offense actually operates. When Davis Mills stepped in after Stroud went down with a concussion against the Denver Broncos, something unexpected happened. The offense started moving. Not because Mills has more talent, he does not. But Mills slowed the game down, leaned on the run game, worked off play action, and never forced the football into dangerous windows. He took what the defense gave him and nothing more. That Thursday night football win over the Buffalo Bills was built on that exact formula. Boring quarterback play, smart decisions, 0 turnovers. Now look at what Sam Darnold just did with the Seattle Seahawks. He won a Super Bowl as a game manager. Kenneth Walker III won Super Bowl MVP. When Seattle needed a big throw, Darnold delivered, but he was not trying to be the hero on every single snap. That is the blueprint Houston should be following. When you have the best defense in football, you do not need your quarterback throwing 50-50 balls down the field. Stroud has the arm talent to make every throw in the book. Nobody questions that. But he has to stop chasing his rookie season and start trusting the players around him, especially the ones Houston just added to carry the football. Joe Mixon missed the entire 2025 season with a foot injury and was released this offseason. Nick Chubb came in as a replacement, but his body just could not hold up after multiple knee surgeries. The explosiveness was gone. So the Texans went out and traded for David Montgomery from the Detroit Lions, a proven power back who can grind between the tackles and still break off 40 to 50-yard runs when the lane opens. His time in Detroit only ended because Jahmyr Gibbs took over that backfield. Montgomery is exactly the kind of runner this offense has been missing. Woody Marks enters year 2 after 196 carries for 703 yards as a rookie. He took over in the second half of that wildcard win against Pittsburgh and looked like a completely different player. The potential is there for him to be a real weapon in this system moving forward. The Texans ranked 21st in rushing offense last season, and in that Patriots playoff loss, Marks had 14 carries for just 17 yards. A better offensive line changes those numbers overnight, but even with new backs and new blockers, this offense still needs its passing weapons to step up in a major way. Injuries have torn through this receiving room for 3 straight years. Stephon Diggs tore his ACL in 2024 and left for New England. Tank Dell broke his leg during his rookie year, then destroyed his knee against Kansas City the following season and missed all of 2025. Christian Kirk filled a veteran role last year, but is not the long-term answer. The turnover at this position has been brutal, and C.J. Stroud has never had a healthy full receiving core around him for an entire season. That fact alone changes how you evaluate his recent struggles. Nico Collins is the one constant. He is locked in as the number 1 receiver and still on a bargain deal. Jaden Higgins showed real promise as a rookie last season, working the outside as a vertical threat. Jalen Noel barely saw 20 to 30% of offensive snaps during his rookie campaign, but carries serious upside heading into year 2. The biggest mystery is Tank Dell himself. He recently changed his number from 3 to 1. Will he have the same speed after sitting out a full year? If he comes back right, this group suddenly looks dangerous. Dalton Schultz returns as a reliable target, and the Texans met with multiple tight end prospects at the Combine. But the real reason Houston can afford to be patient on offense is what they already have waiting on the other side of the football. The Texans finished 2025 as the top-ranked defense in the NFL, riding a 9-game winning streak to close the regular season at 12-5. Matt Burke calls the plays now, but the DNA of this unit still belongs to DeMeco Ryans. They move their edge rushers around constantly, running twists, stunts, and loop plays that offensive lines simply cannot prepare for. One-on-one matchups are a death sentence against this front because doubling one rusher leaves the other completely free. The interior holds its own with Sheldon Rankins, Naquan Jones, Tommy Togiai, and newly signed Logan Hall, rotating in on a 2-year, $14 million deal. Henry To'oTo'o pairs with Azeez Al-Shaair in 2 linebacker sets, while E.J. Speed steps in when they go to 3. Nobody is running through the middle of this defense consistently. The secondary is where it gets truly terrifying. Derek Stingley Jr. locks down one side. Kamari Lassiter covers the other so well that Stingley never has to travel. Jalen Pitre controls the nickel. Callan Bullock roams the back end. And now, Reed Blankenship arrives from Philadelphia on a 3-year, $24.5 million deal to complete this puzzle. With talent like this on defense, the draft becomes less about filling holes and more about building for the future. The Texans hold pick 28 in the first round, plus selections in rounds 2, 3, and 4. Their combine meetings tell you exactly where their heads are at. They sat down with 8 offensive linemen, including Emmanuel Pregnon, Blake Miller, Caleb Lomu, and Caden Proctor, who earned a top 30 visit. On defense, they met with tackles Dominique Orange, Lee Hunter, and Caden McDonald from Texas Tech and Ohio State. Linebacker C.J. Allen from Georgia is a name to watch if he falls to 28, because the Texans could absolutely go best player available after addressing so many needs in free agency. 2 trade rumors are also floating around. Bleacher Report suggested the Rams should acquire Davis Mills as a backup for Matthew Stafford. Unless somebody offers a second-round pick, that is not happening. Jarrett Patterson is a more realistic trade candidate, with the 49ers potentially offering a 4th rounder, given his 64.1 PFF grade from 2024 and the depth Houston now carries up front. Everything comes down to this. The defense is Super Bowl ready. The offensive line is better than it has ever been under C.J. Stroud. The weapons are there. The contracts are ticking. If Stroud embraces a smarter style of play and the run game takes pressure off his shoulders, this team can beat anybody in the AFC. But if the offense stalls again, this core of Will Anderson Jr., Danielle Hunter, and Derek Stingley Jr. in their primes may not get another shot like this. 2026 is not just another season for the Houston Texans. It is the season.